Have you ever felt like you were walking alone, even though you were surrounded by so many people? There is a deep, spiritual reason for this. The loneliness of the chosen is not a punishment, but a preparation. Let's uncover the signs that indicate you are one of the chosen ones and understand how solitude can be a powerful ally in your spiritual evolution. I'm James. My own search for meaning and purpose began when I felt lost, yearning for a deeper connection with life. On that journey, I learned that there is immense value in sharing experiences and learning from those of others. The chosen ones often embark on a deep journey of self-knowledge that requires introspection and solitude. This process is essential to understanding their true essence and purpose, a path that often cannot be shared with others. Loneliness, in this context, is not a state of abandonment or sadness, but a valuable opportunity to dive into the depths of one's being. In my own spiritual journey, I have found that solitude has allowed me to uncover aspects of myself that were unknown. It's as if the absence of external distractions opens up space for a deeper and more sincere internal dialogue. Over time, I realized that this introspection is fundamental for those seeking a higher purpose, as it allows us to get to know our true motivations, fears, and aspirations. I encourage you who are reading these words to reserve moments of solitude in your life. It's not about total isolation, but small periods in which you can disconnect from the noise outside and connect with yourself. It could be a walk in nature, a meditation session, or simply the silence of a quiet room. These moments of introspection are vital so that you can hear the voice of your soul, the one that is often drowned out by the demands and pressures of the outside world. During these periods of introspection, you will begin to notice patterns in your thoughts and emotions. You may discover old traumas that still influence your decisions or hidden talents that you've never had the chance to explore. The journey of self-knowledge is like peeling back the layers of an onion. By removing each layer, you get closer to the core of your essence. Furthermore, it's important to remember that this journey is unique to each individual. There is no right or wrong path, but rather a path that is uniquely yours. In my experience, I have found spiritual practices that resonated deeply with me, such as meditation and reflective writing. However, what worked for me may not be ideal for you. Experiment with different methods and find out which ones resonate with your soul. People with a high spiritual mission tend to vibrate at a different energetic frequency. This can create a dissonance with those around them, causing ordinary relationships to become untenable. When we talk about vibrations and energy frequencies, we are dealing with something deeply rooted in our spirituality and the way we connect with the universe. Each of us emits a unique energy, which is the result of our thoughts, emotions, beliefs, and intentions. Those who are chosen for a high spiritual mission often vibrate at a higher frequency, the result of their ongoing search for enlightenment, truth, and divine connection. This difference in frequency can be compared to trying to tune two radios to completely different stations. Communication becomes difficult and often impossible. On my own spiritual journey, I noticed that as my understanding and connection with the divine deepened, some friendships and relationships began to fade. Not for lack of love or respect, but simply because our energies were no longer aligned. A personal example I can share is that of a longtime friend. For years, we shared moments of joy, sadness, and mutual growth. However, as I went deeper into my spiritual practice, I began to feel a growing disconnection. Our conversations, which were once full of meaning, became superficial and uninteresting. It was a painful but necessary process. I realized that in order to continue my journey, I needed to be surrounded by people whose vibrations resonated with mine. It is essential to understand that this dissonance is not a value judgment. It doesn't mean that one person is better or worse than the other. It's simply a question of energy alignment. Being on a different frequency can make you feel isolated, but it is also an opportunity to meet those who share your spiritual vision and mission. I encourage you to reflect on your own relationships and the energy they bring into your life. Do you feel energized and inspired after interacting with certain people? Or do you feel depleted and drained? These are important questions that can help you identify which relationships are in alignment with your spiritual journey. Don't be afraid to move away from connections that no longer resonate with you. The loneliness that can arise from this distancing is not a void, but a sacred space for new and more aligned connections to manifest. During this time, you can focus on raising your own vibration even more through practices such as meditation, prayer, spiritual reading, and altruistic service. Remember, the quality of connections is much more important than the quantity. Finding a few but deep and meaningful relationships can bring a sense of belonging and understanding that countless superficial connections could never provide. On my journey, the deepest connections I've made have been with people who, although few in number, have understood and respected my spiritual path. These kindred souls not only shared my vibration, but also enriched my life in indescribable ways. So embrace energetic dissonance as a sign of your spiritual growth. Allow it to guide you towards more aligned and meaningful relationships. And above all, continue to raise your own frequency, knowing that this journey is a path to true connection with the divine and with those who really matter. When you are called to a high spiritual mission, it is inevitable that you will feel the weight of this responsibility. It's a burden that few understand, and which can often seem overwhelming. I believe that many of you, like me, have felt this burden in your lives. It's a feeling that transcends the physical, deeply affecting the mind and soul. The responsibility of carrying a conscious spiritual mission demands a level of commitment and dedication that can push superficial relationships aside. When I began my journey, I realized that many of my old friendships failed to understand the depth of my purpose. Friends who were just company for leisure time couldn't keep up with the seriousness and intensity of my new path. This doesn't mean that these people are less valuable, but simply that our paths have diverged. The spiritual mission often demands intense focus. There are times when you need to withdraw to meditate, study, or simply reflect on the next steps on your path. This process can be lonely, but it is essential. I remember periods when I spent days in complete isolation, not for lack of social options, but because I felt the need to connect deeply with my purpose. These moments of solitude are crucial for spiritual growth and for aligning with the mission we have been entrusted with. I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences. How many times have you felt the weight of your mission and realized that you needed to move away from distractions and superficial relationships? This withdrawal is not a sign of weakness or a lack of social skills. On the contrary, it is a demonstration of strength and determination. It's a sign that you're willing to do whatever it takes to fulfill your mission, even if that means walking alone for a while. Trivial connections often cannot withstand the depth of a spiritual mission. When you are deeply involved in your spiritual journey, you realize that you no longer have room for relationships that don't add value or that aren't aligned with your purpose. This can be painful, but it's a necessary part of the process. The spiritual path requires you to be selective with your energies and who you allow into your inner circle. I also want to emphasize that this journey, although lonely, is extremely rewarding. Solitude gives us the opportunity to get to know ourselves better, to understand our strengths and weaknesses, and to align ourselves more deeply with our purpose. When you accept the weight of your mission and the responsibility that comes with it, you become stronger, more resilient, and more connected to your true self. So if you feel alone on your spiritual journey, know that you are not alone. Many of us, the chosen ones, go through this experience. I encourage you to embrace this aloneness as an opportunity for growth and empowerment. Use this time to connect deeply with your mission and to prepare for what lies ahead. And remember, loneliness is just a phase. Eventually, you will meet other souls who share your vision and who will understand the depth of your path. Solitude can serve as a form of spiritual protection. Being alone allows the chosen ones to shield themselves from negative influences and energies that could divert their path. In my spiritual journey, I have come to realize that solitude is not just a random circumstance, but a necessity for those who are seeking a deeper alignment with their essence and mission. When we are alone, we have the opportunity to truly connect with our inner selves without external distractions and interference. I remember a time in my life when loneliness seemed to be a burden. I felt isolated, without friends and with very few relationships. It was a challenging period, but today I understand that it was necessary for my spiritual evolution. This time of isolation allowed me to strengthen my connection with my own energy and better understand who I am and what my purpose is. The spiritual protection that solitude provides is like an invisible shield. When we are surrounded by many people, we are exposed to a multitude of energies and intentions, not all of which are beneficial. Solitude offers a safe space where we can better discern these influences and consciously choose which energies we want to allow into our energy field. It is a space of purification and self-discovery, where we can listen to our inner voice and align ourselves with our deepest truth. I encourage you to reflect on your own experiences with loneliness. Have there been times in your life when being alone has provided you with clarity and protection? Perhaps you went through a period of introspection that helped you make important decisions or move away from situations and people that were not aligned with your well-being. These experiences are valuable and are part of your spiritual growth. Also, being alone doesn't mean being lonely. Solitude can be a space for deep connection with yourself and the universe. In my meditations and moments of introspection, I often feel the presence of spirit guides and higher energies who offer me guidance and support. These moments of connection are extremely powerful and reinforce the idea that solitude is actually a sacred space of protection and spiritual empowerment. Sharing your journey of aloneness with others who are on a similar path can be incredibly comforting. Although it may seem that you are alone, know that there are many other chosen ones going through similar experiences. Connecting with these kindred souls can provide mutual support and validation, further strengthening your spiritual protection and mission. So instead of seeing loneliness as an obstacle, see it as an opportunity for protection and growth. Use this time to strengthen your connection with yourself and the universe, and to shield yourself from negative influences. Every moment of solitude is a chance to align yourself more deeply with your truth and purpose, preparing you for the meaningful connections that will come in the future. Solitude is a gift, a sacred space where you can find and protect yourself, allowing you to move forward on your spiritual journey with greater clarity and strength. The importance of self-reliance. Developing emotional and spiritual self-reliance is a fundamental pillar for those who are chosen. The journey of a chosen one is a lonely one, often marked by the need to find strength and solace within oneself. Self-reliance does not mean isolation or total independence from others, but rather the ability to maintain emotional and spiritual stability without depending on external validation. For a chosen one, self-reliance is a process of internal construction. It means learning to listen to your own inner voice, trusting your intuition and finding peace and balance even in times of adversity. When you become self-reliant, you free yourself from the expectations and judgments of others. This state of being allows for a deeper connection with your essence, your purpose, and the universe. Emotional self-sufficiency involves recognizing and accepting your own emotions without depending on others for validation or comfort. This doesn't mean that you can't seek support, but rather that your well-being isn't dependent on someone else's presence or approval. It's a path of self-acceptance and self-love, where you learn to be your own counselor and friend. On the spiritual side, self-reliance means being in tune with your higher self and the divine forces that guide your journey. It means cultivating a spiritual practice that strengthens and guides you, whether through meditation, prayer, reflection, or any other means that resonate with your soul. When you become spiritually self-sufficient, you become a pure channel for divine wisdom and energy, without external interference. This development is crucial because the mission of the chosen ones often requires a resilience that cannot be easily shaken by external influences. Self-reliance becomes a protective shield, keeping your energy intact and allowing you to continue on your path with clarity and determination. By relying on your own strength, you become a beacon for others, showing that it is possible to find peace and balance within yourself. Solitude is often an essential preparation period for the chosen ones. Before fully interacting with the world and fulfilling their mission, they need time to refine their skills, beliefs, and inner strength. This period of introspection and personal development is crucial to ensure that you are truly ready to face the challenges ahead. During this time of preparation, the chosen ones are called to explore their inner depths, confront their fears and doubts, and emerge stronger and wiser. It's a period of self-discovery where you learn to recognize and use your unique gifts and talents. This preparation phase is not only about acquiring knowledge, but also about integrating this knowledge in a practical way into your daily life. Preparation also involves energetic alignment. Before connecting deeply with the world, the chosen ones need to ensure that their own energies are in harmony. This can involve energy cleansing and protection practices, meditation, and building a solid foundation of physical, emotional, and spiritual well-being. When your energies are aligned, you become a clear channel for the realization of your mission. This time of solitude and preparation is an opportunity to strengthen your connection with the divine. It's a time to deepen your faith and trust in the process and in the greater plans the universe has for you. When you emerge from this period of preparation, you're not only stronger but also more in tune with your purpose and better able to serve others in a meaningful way. Therefore, solitude should not be seen as a punishment or a burden, but as a crucial phase of growth and empowerment. It's a time to honor yourself and prepare for the great tasks ahead. By embracing this preparation phase, you better position yourself to fulfill your purpose with clarity, confidence, and grace. Instead of having many friends, the chosen ones often cultivate few but deep connections. These relationships are real treasures because they are with people who understand and respect your spiritual path. On my journey, I often found myself surrounded by people, but few really understood the depth of my mission. On the occasions when I have met these kindred souls, the connection has been instant and true. It's as if our energies resonate in the same tone, creating a harmony that transcends words. These meaningful connections are fundamental to spiritual growth. They offer a safe space to share our experiences, doubts, and even our fears. When you meet someone who truly understands your journey, there is a powerful energetic exchange. This not only strengthens our faith and purpose, but also gives us the courage to continue, even when the path becomes arduous. If you feel alone, don't be discouraged. The quality of connections is much more important than the quantity. Try to cultivate relationships that truly nourish your soul and are aligned with your values and mission. Share your experiences and be open to hearing those of others. This exchange is enriching and vital for our spiritual growth. On my journey, I have learned that these relationships are rare, but when they occur, they are extremely rewarding and long-lasting. Following a high spiritual path often involves personal sacrifices. Renouncing relationships that don't feed your soul is one of the many challenges faced by the chosen ones. On my journey, there have been times when I have had to walk away from people and situations that were not in harmony with my purpose. At first, this may have seemed painful and even unfair, but over time I realized that these sacrifices were necessary for my spiritual growth and evolution. Personal sacrifice also involves giving up worldly comforts and pleasures that can divert our attention from the spiritual path. Renunciation is not an act of loss, but of gain. It is a conscious exchange where we let go of what is superficial in order to immerse ourselves in what is essential. This is a lesson I've learned over the years and one I share with everyone who comes to me seeking guidance. I encourage you to reflect on the sacrifices you may need to make on your own journey. What relationships or situations are draining your energy? What can you leave behind to align yourself more deeply with your purpose? These are difficult but essential questions. The path of the chosen one is not easy, but it is full of spiritual rewards that transcend any material or emotional sacrifice. By sharing my experiences, I hope you find the strength and inspiration to make the necessary choices on your own journey. Remember, every sacrifice made in the name of your spiritual purpose is a cornerstone for building a full and meaningful life. Solitude and sacrifices are just steps along the way, preparing you for a future of deeper spiritual connections and incomparable personal fulfillment. The incessant search for truth and authenticity can alienate those who are not ready to face profound realities. The chosen ones often find themselves alone because their sincerity can be uncomfortable for others. This is because the truth, in its essence, is often raw and challenging. It doesn't allow for subterfuge or masks. It requires everyone to confront reality as it is, without adornment or illusions. When someone embarks on a deep spiritual journey, the search for truth becomes an inescapable imperative. These individuals begin to question everything, their beliefs, their relationships, their very existence. Nothing is accepted blindly. Everything must be examined in the light of truth. This attitude can be disturbing for those who prefer the comfort of illusions or half-truths. Most people live in a comfort zone, where realities are not constantly questioned. For them, absolute truth can seem like a threat, something that could destabilize their carefully constructed lives. The chosen ones, on the other hand, feel a compelling need for authenticity. They can no longer live according to social norms that they consider superficial or insincere. Their search for truth takes them to a level of self-analysis and reflection that many are unwilling to face. This can result in a natural isolation, as few are willing to strip away their illusions and face the naked truth. This search for the truth also requires brutal sincerity. The chosen ones can no longer afford to be complacent or silent. They express their perceptions and feelings in a direct and honest way, which can be disconcerting for those who are used to more superficial communication. The chosen one's honesty can be seen as rudeness or tactlessness, but it is in fact an expression of their unwavering commitment to the truth. The authenticity of the chosen also leads them to reject any form of hypocrisy. They can no longer tolerate falsehoods, whether in their own lives or in the lives of those around them. This high standard can alienate many who find it difficult to live under the constant vigilance of the truth. Relationships based on social convenience or superficial interests have no place in the lives of the chosen, and this can result in a sense of loneliness.